crocheters who wants a quick eyeball tutorial. Okay, quick run through of what you'll need. White, you need black, I'm using twinkly because that's what I have, red, and then 2 colors for the inside of the eyeball. Ignore the toddler. Okay, you're going to do 6 single crochet in the magic ring, but you're not going to do the final pull through of the last single crochet. So you should still have 2 loops on your hook, and then you are going to close your magic circle. Then you're going to take the color that you want to be the inner color. So on this one, I did light green on the inside, but I'm going to do dark green for this next row. Okay, and so you're going to take your next color, you're going to do the final pull through of that stitch with the new color. And then you are going to increase into every stitch around, which should then give you 12 stitches. Okay, so I've come up to my last stitch, and again, you're going to start with that color, and then we're changing colors. So the final pull through of the last single crochet of that row, you're going to do with your new color. Okay, so we've done the last pull through with our new color. And then we are going to do a single crochet in the next stitch. And then if you see here, this is the increase from the last row. So you did the first stitch in the first half of that increase. You're going to do your second stitch where you made that increase. And it's just going to be a single crochet, but it's a spiked single crochet. And then your next single crochet is going to be in the second stitch of that increase. So essentially what we're doing is increasing and adding the depth of the color changes here to kind of make it blend and look more like an eyeball. So you're going to do this all the way around. So again, here's our increase. We're going to do a single crochet in the first, and then a spiked single crochet, and then the second single crochet is the second one of that same increase. So single crochet in the first, spiked single crochet, and single crochet in the second part of that increase from the previous row. And you're going to do this all the way around, and I'll join you back when we get here. At this point, we have done everything. I'm going to finish off and do an invisible join so that we can start with the white on a new row, and it'll help keep this actual circle. We have finished off. I did the invisible join, and then I just snipped and tied all these ends together. And then you are going to start with your white in any stitch around that you choose. It literally makes no difference. Okay, like I said, any of the back loops does not make a difference which one, just pick a random one. And you're going to do a round of slip stitches in the back loop only, all the way around. And so at the end of this round, you will also have 18 stitches. They will be slip stitches. So I will do this, and I will join you back when we are on our last one. Okay, now we are doing increases. So we're going to do 2 single crochet increase all the way around, but you're going to pick up both loops of the white and a loop of the green underneath. So 1 single crochet, 2 single crochets, and then next will be our increase. So you're just going under all 3 of those. They kind of group together. Your hook should naturally just kind of slide underneath. Alright, so this is where we're at. You should have 24 stitches. Our next row is also going to be a row of increases. You're going to single crochet 3 times and then increase. I will join you back after that. Okay, at the end of round 6, this is what you're left with. Rounds 7 through 10 are all just single crochet around, so that is single crochet for 4 rounds. I will join you back when we're there. Okay, so the rest of this is simple. It is just closing a ball like you do in any kind of ami. So I'm going to put those directions on the screen, but I'm not going to walk you guys through step by step. So obviously you want to do the decrease rounds, and then on the second to last round you just want to stuff it so you're not having to shove all of it in, and then do the last round, make sure you're stuffed all the way, close it up, and then I will walk you guys through how I did the embroidery part with the red. It's all pretty simple though. Eyeball is done. All I did is cut a long strand of red, threaded through a darning needle, and then any random spot I went in, and then I made sure to come through the center of where I closed, because that is the center of the eyeball. And essentially all you're doing leave some of this out so you can tie it off at the end. But all you're doing is making 6 lines. I went probably 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I went no further than like 6 or 7 stitches in for these. And then I just pulled it a little snug, like so. Sorry, that wasn't on camera. And then I went back in and did it all over again. I did make them a little bit uneven, just to give it a little bit more of like an eyeball look. So I just went around and did these, so I will join you after I have my 6 lines and show you the rest. Okay, so I am about to do my 6th one here. So what I did is I went obviously back into the circle, and then I decided how I was going to make my little branchy things. So let's just pick here to start. So I fed that through and made sure it was a little snug. You don't want it too tight because you don't want it to shape it, but you want it tight enough that it's not going to pull up. And then I just kind of made some random little embroidered shapes here. They are nothing special, nothing fancy, just some random little, what I consider eyeball veins to look like. They're all different, and there's obviously no wrong way to do this. And so when I finished off one, I just went to the next one. Let's go here. Like I said, no right way, no wrong way to do this. You just do however your heart desires, and continue this all the way around. And then I'll show you what I did to hide the end of this thread. But I am by no means perfect, and if you have a way that works better, do that. It is there's really no difference in doing this. There's no right way, no wrong way. It's just how you feel. Okay, everything is completed. I embroidered it. It is what it is. And so I'm going to tie these 2 strands. On the last one, it's hard to see. On the last one, I just made sure to go through the same stitch. I started running out of yarn. So my one strand is very short, which does not make too much of a difference. But for good measure, I'm going to tie these together a couple times, tie a tight knot. And then what I do is I take my hook, and I go in a random spot across the eyeball, go through the same hole, and I just grab my 2 strands and pull them into the eyeball. And if your strands that are left over are long, you can cut them. If they're short like mine were, you can just pull it right through, and then get your hook back out. And in order to, you can see there's a little bit of a gap right there. I just take my darning needle and kind of mess with it until you can no longer see that there is a gap there. So same with where I stuck the hook in. I'm just going to mess with this a little bit and cover my tracks, so there is nothing there. And that is my 2nd eyeball. So you can do these in any color combinations. I actually think I'm going to do a purple with orange on the inside for Halloween, but I think they make cute keychains and whatnot. So thank you for watching if you've made it this far, and please tag me in any of these that you make. I'd love to see your color combinations.